Hi everybody and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday the 25th of August 2019. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm using the Game of Thrones tarot for this reading, and this is the first reading that I'm doing back in Glastonbury, and it is so amazing. Something I'd forgotten about is that there's a special energy here. It's like a bubble full of just it's like electricity running through my aura. It's the veil being really thin. I have had so many downloads while I was sleeping last night. It's a lot to process. It's just I'd forgotten how magical and spiritual and amazing this place is. And now that I'm here, I can feel my antennas reaching out and getting all the answers, which I always work with, my intuition, but I feel like there's so much longer here and I have access to so much more just because of the way I feel here. Wow. So it's like amplified through this heart chakra of the world. If you're interested in that, look up the chakras of the world, just Google that, and you'll see the crown chakra, the solar plexus, the root chakra, and they're located in different places. So the root chakra, for example, is Mount Shasta in California, and these are energy places of energy that's held. And by being near that energy, you absorb some of it. Or maybe you need to be around it every day to fill some sort of a gap. But it certainly gives you power and fuel. So Sunday the 25th, we've got the Two of Swords. We've got the Six of Coins. We had that yesterday as well. This is the have and have nots card. Sometimes you're rich and you're in a position of wealth and power, and sometimes you have to ask for help financially because you're broke. Money is an energy that comes and goes. Excuse me. So fortune's changing, or changing in a physical sense, because pentacles rule money, anything physical, the body, where you live on planet Earth. So there's a changing of fates over this weekend, I feel, for a lot of people. Finally, we have the Six of Spears, which is the Six of Wands. And we've got Daenerys riding in there, being triumphant and successful. All right. So the Two of Swords really is about being blind, not realizing what's going on around you, defending yourself because of that blindness, because you feel under constant attack. And in this card's case, the character, she did have something to feel paranoid about because she was genuinely being pursued by someone. But this card usually represents that you don't have all the answers yet, and there is hope for the future. It's by not tapping into all this water and just staying here on these cold, hard, earthy slabs. If she were able to get in touch with her feelings and her intuition and her higher self, that would not cure her blindness, but she'd be able to see internally that, for example, she's not being pursued right now, or she's in no danger, or that she should travel to Volantis one day. It's just by using that water, you get to use a different sense to help you make decisions. And the intuition today is wide and available to you, and it's free of charge. And it's a very, very, there's an abundance of spiritual information that is flowing through you So there's no need to be in this state, to be unseeing or unwilling to learn or to be unteachable. And you don't have to be defensive about anything because no one is harming you. That process of listening to your intuition and reading it as such and letting yourself be guided by the higher self or the sense of your higher self, that will change your fortunes. Because if you make money in a job and you don't like that job, but you work there for the money, then usually, well, some people do very well with that, but I think about 90% of the time, that person is just paid above minimum wage and doesn't really receive a lot of income. And that's because they have this steady job with this company, and the company's decided this is your worth and this is what we're paying you. And that's a whole other thing with companies being unjust and how people aren't getting paid the way they used to be and all of that stuff. But what this is saying is if you go independent, if you do something independently, like by listening to her intuition, she might come up with a design idea which you could then have produced, and she could change her fortunes by really selling those and making a huge profit. It's like that film Joy with Jennifer Lawrence. She had this mop, and it was this self-drying mop or something like that. And no one believed her. She was in a terrible state with her family because they were just so awful. And she went on QVC and she sold all of these brooms, and she had a really tough time afterwards as well. It was never easy for her. She had to struggle for everything. And in the end, there were also tragedies, but she ended up as someone who was very secure financially, and not because she did it for the money, but she designed that broom so she wouldn't have to run back to the bucket of water and soak it and clean it and then dry it again. It's that twist mop, isn't it? So by adding something valuable to the world, you will see your fortunes change. But the valuable stuff that you can add to the world is shown to you via your feelings. So if I think about being a massage therapist, my gut says, no, you wouldn't enjoy that. But when I say, what about a Reiki healer? Then my inner gut, my intuition says, yeah, that would be great. Ding, ding, ding. And the bell goes off. So when I hear that, I go and train to be a Reiki master. And that's what the first two cards are indicating, that if you listen and you allow yourself to be shown what you're good at, where you're supposed to go, and you listen to that and you try and implement it. This is a sword made out of metal, so this is about making a decision, and this wooden sword is about earthiness and putting in the legwork to make the idea a reality. So maybe she has an idea that she wants to open a shop, or maybe she wants to be self-employed as a dressmaker. Knowing Aria from the show, that's unlikely to happen. But she's able to be inspired today. So take some time for yourself where it's just you and it's just quiet. And allow these inspirations and these downloads to come in. And write them down. Make sure that you have a record of them, because there are other times when you're not particularly inspired and you could be working with something, but you forgotten these great ideas that you got. So today you're being showered with wonderful ideas that potentially can change your standing in the world on a socio-economic level. And then we have the Six of Spears, which is victory and triumph after a quest. The Six of Spears is a man usually who's returning to his place of birth, and he went out to find the Holy Grail, and he's found the Holy Grail. Everyone knows about it, everyone applauds him, and he's just wonderful. In this case, we have Daenerys walking into a city where there were slaves, and she frees hundreds of thousands of people from slavery. And that's her victory march. It's the opportunity to free people through force. Because the slave owners didn't just say, okay, here you go, have the people we own. No, they put up a fight. So there was a struggle, there was a journey, but once that struggle was won, she's successful, she's triumphant, and she's able to ride into the city. So it's a very simple day, really. It's about being internal and having the focus on the inner eye, that you really receive unique and useful information which you can turn into something tangible, something practical that other people can engage with. It will change your fortunes, and you'll be incredibly successful financially with one of these ideas that you get today. So please don't dismiss them. I love the tarot and I love astrology, and I first discovered the tarot at the age of 11 at my grandma's house. And I've always read the tarot cards for myself, and for years and years and years, my whole 20s, my higher self was trying to tell me, Greg, do something with your tarot, do something with the astrology, your intuition. And I always swatted it away like an annoying bug. It's like, no, I won't be able to pay my bills, and people won't like me, and da-da-da. So all of these negative things. So I swatted it aside, and it was only when I let go and I allowed myself to be guided in a different direction that I did actually take the tarot and put it on YouTube. And that's why the two of us are connecting here today. So let yourself be guided as well as ideas coming in. It will change your circumstances, and you will see it as your personal version of success and triumph, which you spoke about the other day as well. So it's a time for you to succeed. I saw a really funny picture yesterday of the sun in Leo with the sun going into Virgo, which is the time we're in. The sun in Leo, it's this beautiful woman with blonde hair, and everything is fake and inflatable, and she's wearing sky-high killer heels, and then she morphs into this bookish like someone who lives and adores reading and who lives at the library. I think I'll put it on my Instagram. It's really, really funny. Instagram is Gregory Scott 444, by the way, and Twitter is Talk to Gregory. Please follow me on there. I post memes and do fun little things, so those are good. So that's it for the reading. Number wise, we've got 2 and 6 is 8, and 6 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5, and 5 is about freedom. And I don't know if we had this yesterday, but I think it may have been a 5. But, you know, it's not like each day is separate and removed from the others. They all flow into each other. And the main key word that I'm getting is, if you're willing to receive, you're getting the opportunity to really change your circumstances. And the reason I mentioned that the sun in Leo energy to the sun in Virgo energy is that we're now entering a time which isn't about fire and passion and looking good and being in the public eye. We're now in a very feminine earth sign that's about listening, and it's about being diligent and hardworking. And that's perfect for you, because now that you're able to open your mind to new ideas, the universe is sending you those ideas so that you can achieve financial freedom or freedom in terms of what you have planned for your life. If you're retired, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you haven't done yet? Listen to the universe, what it wants you to do, and do the legwork and trust. That's where the trust comes in, that you get this idea like I did, and I was like, that's never gonna work. So who are you speaking to me anyway? I didn't realize what that voice was, which was my higher self. So today you may get an outlandish suggestion, like become a worm farm owner. And you'll be like, what am I going to do with a bunch of worms? But I don't know. I'm going to do it anyway. You set up a worm shop, and suddenly you are in business because all the local fishermen, you didn't realize that the lake that you lived near was the only lake in 200 miles vicinity. And you, with your worms, you open the shop, and every fisherman from the world stops at your shop and buys a rod to reel them in. I don't even know what they're called. And the worms and the string and everything. So even though it seemed very, very weird, have faith and trust that the universe has got wonderful things planned for you, and it's helping you to implement them today. So have a wonderful Sunday. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Hit the subscribe button if you like my videos to be notified of when I post new ones. And also share the video if you like it. I'd be ever so grateful. So have a lovely, lovely Sunday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.